watching this morning for me. I just finished my second coffee, got some stuff done around the studio, and now I'm going to film another class for you. So this morning's class is called Slow Flow. It's our usual Friday morning class because we're trying to stay as routine as possible with what we're offering so that it feels congruent to how our practice would feel if we were practicing together in real life. Normally, this would be our beautiful Angie's class. Angie's been at the studio now for quite a while, and she is such a gift. Having her here is so awesome. She's such a wonderful, heartfelt and compassionate teacher. Everything she teaches, she lives. It's not a persona that she puts on to teach. That is what she is like. She is such a wonderful person. And so even though she's not the one that's sharing this practice with you today, I just wanted to say thank you to her for being the one who's usually sharing this practice with you. She's such a blessing to us. So thanks, Ange. Today we're going to move through, we're not going to move through it fast. It's one of my favorite transitions. I know that we practice it together in the studio, and I know that for some of you it is as fun to practice as it is for me, and I know that for some of you it's not as fun. It's tricky. Like, it's not necessarily that the poses require superhuman range of motion or strength. It's just that it's really hard to balance in these transitions that we're going to play with today. So that being said, we're going to get ready to settle in for our practice. So if you want to find a comfortable way to sit, take a minute to feel your spine lengthen, your shoulders relax down away from your ears. Let all the muscles in your face soften. There's no need to have any sort of expression here at all. Check in with the way that you're breathing. Trying not to change it, which it will change. As soon as we become aware of it, it will change. But try to check in with those natural cues in your body. What it feels like right before we want to breathe in and what it feels like right before we want to breathe out. Continue breathing here. If your eyes are closed, you might not notice. But if your eyes are open right now, you might see me run off screen. It's because I'm going to go over to the thermostat and make sure that the fan is shut off. Because in about a couple of minutes, I'm sure it's going to kick on and be loud. We're going to start to change the rhythm of our breathing. So from here, we're going to move into square breathing, or Samavriti pranayama. So keeping all 4 parts of our breathing cycle equal in length. So I'm going to start with just a count of 3. And you can change that count. You could count to 4, you can count to 5, you can count as fast or as slow as you want. You're just counting inside your mind. One of the things when we do this breathing practice is after our inhale, then we're pausing and then exhaling and then pausing. And we want to, we don't want to feel like we're gasping for breath when we return to our inhale. So it's okay to feel like that sensation that bubbles up almost inside of you that feels like you really want to breathe in. That sensation is okay, but we don't want to be like when we get back to our inhale. So extend that cycle or that count for as long as you can comfortably, where you might be excited to breathe in or anticipating that feeling of breathing in, but it's not a gasp. So whenever you're ready, I'm going to count out the first couple of cycles in the 3 count, and then after that we'll just, I'll stop cueing, and you can adjust the count to whatever you'd like. So when you're ready, we'll start to breathe in, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, inhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. We'll do 3 more rounds of breath at whatever count you feel the most comfortable using. Following the next breath retention after exhale, we'll just come back to the natural flow of our breathing. Maybe we take a moment here to set an intention for our practice today. Allow our chin to tuck in towards the chest. Let your gaze open little by little to the floor in front of us. We're going to get ready to move. Okay, so nothing too vigorous in this class, but lots of movement. And I don't know how it will feel in your body, but this movement pattern feels really fun for me. So we're going to start coming into a forward fold. So you can sit with our legs extended out in front of us. Take a big breath in. As we breathe out, we're just going to start to reach towards our feet. And we don't have to hold our feet. We could have our hands on our shins. We could have our hands in by the ankles. We can hold the feet if that feels nice. One more cycle of breath here. And slowly come all the way back up. We can keep our right leg extended. Tuck our left foot in here. Big breath in. This time, before we fold forward, we're going to stretch our arms up overhead. As we breathe out, we're going to feel our pelvis start to move first. So we're tilting our pelvis forward, and the body follows. And then eventually, as we come down, our spine might start to move a little bit too. And pause and hold here for a couple of breaths. reach our arms forward. We're gonna squeeze the muscles in the back side of the body to pick us up. Maybe we pause here and keep our arms lifted while we transition legs, or maybe we bring our hands down either side of us. Big breath in, big breath out. We can fold forward. The amount of hair I shed on a daily basis is insane. It is constantly stuck to my yoga pants. Slowly come all the way back up here. We're going to make our way to hands and knees. So one of the things we've been working on in class is that shifting by putting the outside edges of our feet onto the floor, hands in front of us, shifting to pick our bum up, and then we can bring our legs back. So we're going to move through just a half sun salutation here. So starting out on hands and knees, we can pause, shift forward a little bit. So I'm going to push my knees into the ground as I shift my hips forward. As long as it feels okay for my wrists, my shoulders can come farther forward than my elbows. Bend the elbows, lower the belly towards the ground. Big breath in to lift the heart, big breath out to child's pose. Pushing the floor away, coming back, pausing for a couple of breaths. Slowly coming all the way back up. Pause, lower down, inhale, lift the heart, exhale. Back to child's pose. Staying here for a shorter time this time. Inhaling up. Exhaling to lower. Inhaling up. Exhale to child's pose. Inhale back to tabletop. Exhale, lowering through chaturanga. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to child's pose. We're going to move through this a few more times and turn this way. And move at whatever speed feels the best in your body. We could stay just like this, going through this exact movement pattern. Or if you choose to, you could start to move with me almost the same movement pattern, but instead of coming back to child's pose, you might come back to downward facing dog. Knees can come to the floor or not. We'll do one last round. So if we came back to child's pose again here, we can tuck our toes under, lift our knees away from the floor, make our way to downward facing dog. We can look forward to the top of our mat, and we're just going to slowly walk our feet up. Big breath in to come halfway up. Big breath out to fold down. Big breath in, reaching up. Big breath out, hands to heart. We're going to move through a couple of standing half sun salutations here. Inhaling, stretching up. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway up. Exhaling to fold again. Inhale, stretching up. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll move through that a couple more times. When we get back to Samastitihi, we can pause. We're going to play with a couple of the movements that we're going to practice today. Just grabbing a chair. So, a lot of times in the studio, if we were going to be doing this, we would maybe have blocks or something for our hand to come down to. But we can make it work with a chair. You could also stack books, use a pillow, or whatever you want to make this work. But we're going to play with a couple of the poses that we're going to come into when we come into our little fun transition. So one of the poses that we're going to come into will be Warrior 3. So for right now, we're going to just practice coming in and out of that pose. So I'm going to push my leg back behind me, and I'm going to tilt forward. So I'm going to see if I can get my torso and leg to move together. And then come all the way back up, shift and go the other way. Try one more time each side. I have my hands at my heart only because we're going to make a transition after. And I feel like hands at the heart will make that transition smoother. But you could also send your arms overhead when we come into Warrior 3, or you could bring your arms out to the side, bring your hands down beside your hips. So you can play with your arm position here. Change. We're going to come through that Warrior 3, and then we're going to come into half moon pose. So again, I'm going to show with the chair first, and then I'm going to show with without a prop after. This chair could be replaced by anything. It's just that when we come down to Warrior or to half moon pose, like it doesn't feel right in everyone's body to have our hand touching the floor. That doesn't work for everyone's body. Another alternative, and probably my favorite alternative, is to leave the hand hovering. And I don't bring the hand to the floor. It's just a less stable pose. I have to work a lot harder to be in that pose. So a lot of times when I'm practicing, I bring my hand just to hover above the ground. And I don't have it planted at all. So that's always an option too. So I'm going to show the first option here. I'm going to come into my warrior three. And we could bring hand to the chair. We could bring forearm to the chair. We're going to turn so that our torso and our foot start to point off to the side, and my top hand could come up. That feels all right. I'm going to come all the way back to my warrior three and all the way back up. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Do it one more time, just like we did our half moon or our warrior three twice. Okay, now I'm going to do our half moon twice. I'm going to go like this. Because I don't want both mats under my feet right now. So when I come down this time, I'm going to do my hand just hovering. So when you're ready, come back to our warrior three. Turn towards our half moon. All the way back. And all the way back up. Same thing on the other side. One last time. How are you doing so far? Having fun? Okay, so the next thing that we're going to add into that after is our extended hand to big toe pose. And just for the sake of the flow of it, when we do this right now, my invitation would be to not connect your hand and foot. It's what we've been working on in our class. It's an unsatisfying feeling. You don't get that maybe big sense of stretch that you might get in when our hand is holding our foot, or our hand is holding a strap that's around the bottom of our foot. It's a lot of work, but that's one of the things we've been working on is not connecting the parts of our bodies so that we feel how we're working when we're not supporting one part of our body with another. So we're going to just come in towards this, this movement, which will then link together after with our warrior three half moon movements. So when I come here, I am going to bend my knee, pull my foot up, press, extend through. From here, I'm going to bring my arms up to the side, my foot out to the side. Bring it back in towards tree pose, and then back down to the ground. Do the same thing on the other side. Pick my foot up, press through my heel. Arms come out, leg comes out, foot can find the leg, all the way back to the ground. Let's do that one more time, each side. Oh, I forgot the tree pose. is it? We're going to link those together now. So, we're going to start by coming to our warrior three, moving to our half moon. From our half moon, we come back to warrior three, all the way up, pushing our foot out to the side, foot to the leg, foot to the floor. Okay, so let's do this. First side, we're going to do the next side now. We've done both sides. We'll do 2 more times each side here. We'll make our way into maybe a little squat pose. So if this movement doesn't feel right, we can have a chair behind us. When we come down, we could bring our hips down to the chair. Just kind of sit on the edge of the chair. Focus on keeping our knees apart a little bit. Feet can point whatever direction they want to comfortably. Maybe our hands come to the heart and we think about lengthening our back a little bit, drawing our shoulder blades towards each other. Maybe the hands come to the inside of the knees and we use those to kind of just really gently push in to the legs push back into the hands as we lengthen. If you like coming into a deeper squat that works on your body, then we might come down. Again, heels may or may not be on the floor when you come down to squat. Some of us, when we come down, our heels lift away. It's totally fine. Feet feel neutral, so they point forward or they point out a little bit, whatever way feels the best for you. They can also be as far apart. I don't want them to be. We're gonna bring our hips down. And then from here, I'm gonna take my elbows, push them in to my knees push back into my elbows, and I'm just gonna lengthen here. I don't know if you can hear it in the video. It's pouring right now, and it is my favorite sound in this studio, outside of the wonderful conversations and the chanting. So I guess it's my third favorite. I digress. Make our way all the way down to be on our backs. So to the left side of my body, I might set up my pillow. I could set up multiple pillows. I could set up a pillow and a blanket. We're gonna come down to the floor and just land on our backs here. Knees bent, feet on the floor, arms in a comfortable position. When you're ready, we'll just pick our hips up away from the ground. I'm going to shift my hips over to the right. I'm going to extend my left leg, hug my right knee in, and hold on my right knee with my opposite hand, and bring it across my body. So as I come down, I might come to the props beside me. I might not even make it to the props beside me, and that's okay. If I want a little bit more of a stretch or a little bit more sensation, I move the props out of the way. Come down to the floor. And just slowly, all the way back. Foot on the floor, left foot on the floor. Bring my hips back in line with my shoulders and my feet. And I'm going to pick my hips up and shift them the opposite way. Extend my right leg, pull my left knee in, right hand can come to hold. Slowly twist. And I want to move nice and slow here. I want to feel what's happening in my body as I turn. Slowly untwist. Foot back to the floor, other foot back to the floor, hips back in line. We could lay here a couple of moments. And then you could make your way into Shavasana. So when you come into Shavasana, you could take something underneath your knees to support them. That feels the nicest for you, so that there's a bend in your knees, but your legs still get to relax. So something like this might feel nice. You could cover your body up for just like the weight of the blanket or the warmth of the blanket, you could take this blanket that we have handy, and we could make like a little neck roll out of it so that it supports that little curve in the back of our neck. And I don't want to make it so big that like my chin is way jacked up here. I don't want to be really like having it feel like it's pushing into my neck, just like supporting. You can let my head relax. My bun is in the absolutely wrong spot for Shavasana. It's going to have to do for right now. And as we find comfort in our body, maybe before we find an extreme amount of comfort, we might take a moment to set a timer so that we can lay in this pose, carefree, worry-free, and rest completely without wondering how long we've been here, or rushing ourselves through. And when you're done your rest pose, take a moment to just be grateful, to thank yourself for taking the time to come to your mat today to practice yoga.